Yeah, of course.
Let's have some water, coffee, apples, lots of teas. Hello. Hey, how are you? I was told on a Zoom call.
Oh,
I think, what's his Zoom? No.
I don't know. Might have been Nora.
Talked to Terry.
Oh,
Terry, and then it was, I think, Nora, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
We look alike, I
Yeah.
guess. Don't worry about it.
You guys can set up here or sit in the center too if you want, right here. Chairs.
Yeah.
And there's water, coffee here, and the back over there as well. Great. So we can do that.
Sure, that would be great.
As long as you do it.
You guys need light or you need her soap? You guys need light.
Are you gonna be the only one speaking?
No, we're gonna be more than 5 people. Grace is our communication director. She's the person.
Wow. Do I have like 2 minutes or I can count?
Yeah, we have time.
así como que ellos creen que viven en
Okay, good to speak with you.
¿Cómo se llama otra vez? ¿Usted?
Faisal Khan.
Faisal Khan.
Yeah.
Pero
India, Pakistan. Yeah, but I never lived there. I lived in Saudi Arabia, but I've been here like 40 years. But I have a lot of friends from Central and South America, Spain, Mexico, El Salvador. See, a lot of my best friends was from Venezuela, Puerto La Cruz, and Spain is very close to me. Madrid, that was in the south, also Alicante, Playa San Juan.
I tell you, I love Spain.
My soul sometimes lives in Spain.
Because I went to Portugal. Portugal, I went to
Yeah.
Spain. Yeah.
You know Santi? Also Santi? Santiago?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola. Great. Great. Santiago, mucho gusto.
Mi pastor es indio
Ah,
y estoy tratando de aprender. Él es indio. Pero pusieron de sobre una casa de una iglesia española.
sí, sí.
Yo no sabía nada español.
In a cultural, and it's very similar to the Middle East and Asia. You know, there are like 5,000 Arabic words in Spanish. See, azúcar, yeah. Bandolon, mesa, a lot of words. The Andalus era had such a huge influence in the culture. Music, everything. And the etiquettes and the manners, how we talk to our, I never called somebody by name who was older than me. Even a friend, I said Mr. or Uncle or Auntie. You say, hey John, how you doing? My dad would be like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a John right for you.
Yeah.
Finito.
Yeah, ¿cómo estás?
Sí.
Yeah. It's just like they do in the South. In the South, it's always Miss Doris,
Sí, sí, sí.
Miss Sarah,
Sí.
you know, Mr. John. Yeah.
So with the, you know, you can speak slowly. You don't have to rush in.
Yeah.
Just let him know also in the eye contact in the center. So when you're talking, you look
Okay.
left, right, middle, left. So if you have emotions, it's completely okay. No problem. You know, just let your emotions and stick to, you know, just eye contact to like keep looking, cameras, keep looking everybody. You can let him know too as well.
Uno que cuando tú vayas a aprender, que puede mirar, cruzar derecho, medio, para acá, y no tenga miedo, habla y
Here's a
si te
napkin
pone
here if anybody
emocional,
needs it.
quiere llorar, está bien. Oh, we got tissue. Por si acaso, ya. Te traigo, porque te digo la lágrima. Ya.
Yeah.
The first one's gonna be.
The speakers can come here, stand here, speakers. Anybody wants to stand in the speakers as well. You have to stand.
Oh, okay, oh, me estoy parada ahí, okay, está bien. Okay.
Anybody standing here?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Anybody standing here? No?
The speakers, okay.
Make sure the phones are ringers off. The main line. Who else is coming here? Grace? She's coming in the back. So, let's go now. Something like Stephen Arch. So what happened? I will speak, and then she will step in. I step back. Stephen, who's next after her? Yes. Step back you go, and after you, who's next? Sarah. And then Sarah's left. So you just keep it changing. You're not speaking. Where's the speaker? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Phone ringers off, please. Turn off your phone ringers. Phone ringers off. Anybody else coming in the back? Yes, no? Anybody come in the back? I need more people on diversity. All right, guys, be serious here. No, no,
Politically challenged, really.
no. Anybody else coming? I need,
La primera vez que va a hablar y para que
just stand right here. Napkins, if anybody needs napkins. Thank you. Quarter. Be serious and look at the camera. Sarah, you the last speaker.
this media after me. So did you? So I'm gonna step back.
Once you finish, you can step back and I'll just look for marks.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we ready? Good to go? Firdaus, you good to go? Okay, 5 seconds. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Immigrant Welcome Center. Before we proceed with this press conference, I would like to take a moment of silence to remember those who have tried to cross the border from Mexican and American border or coming from other borders to seek refuge and asylum in this country, and were not able to make it. So I'd like to take a moment of silence to remember those who basically were victims of persecution, violence, but were unable to come to the United States. Thank you for being here today. We gather to address a pressing and deeply concerning issue: the current state of border policy under Biden administration and its unacceptable impact on asylees and migrants seeking refuge. President Joe Biden has unveiled a sweeping executive order restricting asylum claims, expanding controversial efforts to restrict the number of people crossing the country's southern border. Let us begin by recognizing that the people arriving at the border are often escaping severe violence, persecution, and life-threatening situations. Asylum is a principle under international law that allows individuals to seek protection when fleeing from war, persecution, and human rights violation in their home countries. barriers to making asylum claims could force applicants to return to life-threatening situations or leave them vulnerable to exploitation by criminal gangs along the border. Under U.S. immigration law, any non-citizen on U.S. soil must be granted due process to seek asylum if they fear for their lives or freedom, quote, on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion, unquote. The migrants come here driven by desperation and hope for safety and better future, a right guaranteed by international and U.S. law. Despite the administration's stated commitments to human rights and humane treatment, the reality at our border tells a different story. The current policies have failed to adequately address the humanitarian crisis unfolding at our southern border. These policies have resulted in prolonged detention, inadequate living conditions, and barriers to fair and timely asylum processes, forcing asylum seekers to remain in precarious situations, often in dangerous environments, contradicts our values and obligations under international human rights standards. The continuation of policies that effectively turn people away or subject them to inhumane conditions is unacceptable and demands immediate readdress. Human rights organizations and advocates, including ourselves, have repeatedly highlighted the dire conditions in which many migrants are held. These conditions not only violate their dignity, but also their basic human rights. It is essential that we acknowledge and address these failing with urgency and compassion. Moreover, the administration's approach has not effectively tackled the root cause of migration. While there have been efforts to invest in the stability and security of Central American countries, these measures have yet to yield significant improvements on the ground or have any significant impact on the ground. People continue to flee violence and persecution, only to find additional suffering at our borders. It is imperative that our policies reflect the universal values of compassion, justice, and respect for human rights. This means ensuring safe and humane treatment for all individuals, expediting the asylum process, and providing necessary resources and support to those seeking refuge. In conclusion, the current border policy under Biden administration is absolutely unacceptable. It fails to meet our humanitarian and moral obligations. We must demand better policies that protect the rights and dignity of all individuals, provide humane treatment, and offer a fair chance for those fleeing unimaginable hardship to seek asylum. And I would like to address our local Greater Portland community and beyond to show support and solidarity to our migrant community and asylees who are coming to this country, not only to seek asylum, to make a better life here, to provide for their families and for their loved ones. They're hardworking individuals, law-abiding citizens, trying to make a better living here like most of us. Let's not forget the United States of America is a land of immigrants. And this country's economy and democracy is built on the backbone of immigrants coming here for centuries. We must treat all immigrants, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, or color or background, equally. As we treat Ukrainians with fair treatment and love and compassion and kindness, it is imperative and our fundamental obligation to treat migrants coming from Central, South America, Africa, Middle East, or Asia. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Belinda, and I am the Advocacy Coordinator here at the Center. I work with the Integration Department here at the Center. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today. With the new policy on the border, it makes it very hard to ignore the implications and not say nothing. In 2019, the Trump officers started the transit ban. This was a policy that was created from the Trump officers, which very much mirrors the new policy at the southern border today. It is very disheartening to see these kinds of orders still being enacted today. This policy not only violates the international and the domestic laws. We need to remember that we are all humans and deserve to be treated as such. This executive order directly affects our families, our friends, and our communities members. There are people who are in danger right now because of this policy has enacted. There are now more barriers of making asylum claims. We must protect our communities. A more humane approach has to be considered when dealing with immigration processes. These are livelihoods at stake. Denying protection to people seeking safety is a crime towards human rights, and we must do better. We urge you, President Biden, reverse the executive order and put humanity at the center of this policy. Thank you guys so much. As individuals, we all here have a job to do. And I think from today on, we have the duty to make sure that this is put across, that we are all humans at the end of the day. And it's up to you and me to make the change. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Doris Rodriguez. I am part of the National Helpers. I just graduated. I also, out of that, I also established a center of influence. I was led to do that because of all the immigrants that are coming into this country, especially the Hispanics one. Um, Hispanics people are a little bit different from other people because they don't ask for help. They're not the ones to go around. They don't know what's available for them. They have no clue. So, in that, I want to start by just saying that if the executive order is implemented, you will see persecution as never before seen in our history. For the migrants to be prosecuted and sent back to their own country would only bring death to them, and their blood will be on our hands. Why? Because we have done nothing to stop this, and we need to do our best in order to get this done. The United States, we cannot stop granting asylum to those who are already here. I mean, I have perfect examples of people that have helped. They're already here and they're scared because they don't know if they should continue to follow the laws of our country, or they should leave, or they should just go to another state. They have no idea what's going on. And I just tell them to be patient and to wait. Things will work out, but they're not going to sort themselves out by themselves. We have to stand together and do something. We have to be the voice in the wilderness that nobody is out there to say. We have to be strong together. As a nation, we cannot let this happen to them because, as it was said before, we are a nation of immigrants. We didn't come here. We weren't here. The only immigrants that I know, the only true Americans are the Indians. And look what we did to them. So let's not repeat history again. And of course, I was around with the 1950s with what happened with the blacks down the South. You know, my mom took us down to Washington, D.C. to protest about the human rights and the civil rights that was going on. So I've been part of all of that even as a young girl. My mom always said everyone should be treated equally. And I come from parents that are from Puerto Rico, so we are automatically U.S. citizens. We don't have to go through the process that we're going through right now. But their process that they're going through right now, we have people that come in, they're following the law, they're being processed the way that they should be. I have a gentleman right here that's going to come up. Um, the first thing that he did was he got his main ID. Now he already, on Friday, he got his license. He already filled out all his paperwork. And now next week, he's going to go to get fingerprinted to get his work papers. So he's doing what is right. So I know that a lot of people are saying, no, no, but we are a nation of law. Yes, we are a nation of law. But what we have to remember is that people will say, well, we're a nation of law and things have to be done legally. Yes, that's true. But they are doing just that. They're entering the United States, surrendering to authority, and they're waiting for their paperwork. So what are they doing wrong? They're not doing anything wrong. They're following the law just the way that it should be. At this moment, the only thing that is holding them back is not having a work permit. And we have to change that. From what I understand, Governor Mills was going to try to see if she can implement as a speedy, make it speedy for us here in Maine to be able to hire people and not have to wait 6 months to a year. All right. And then they're not, and now what they're trying to do is they want to become U.S. citizen and they want to help this nation to be a sanctuary for all people. And that's what we have to think about. We're all immigrants. Neither one of us is actually, I cannot say that I'm American because my parents, I was born and raised in New York City and my parents are Puerto Rican and they're Americans. No, we are all immigrants and we're all in this together. And if we do not help one another, what's going to happen to our nation? It's going to go right under. So therefore, these people that are here, they're not here and they don't bring their families here because they're looking, what they're looking for is for better life for themselves and for their families, and they want to live here free, just like everyone else. They're not looking for handouts. They're just looking for us to help us, and we just want to thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es George Contreras, provengo de Venezuela. Somos 11 hermanos. A cuestión de crisis del país, tuve que emigrar en el 2020 de Venezuela. Atravesé la selva del Darién, entré por México, entré aquí en Estados Unidos por vía terrestre, me entregué. Bueno, la inmigración creo que de lo que yo he vivido no es nada fácil. Uno tiene que soportar cosas, ver cosas que uno no está acostumbrado a ver. Y creo que le doy gracias a Dios por entrar en este país. Creo que la nueva política del señor John Biden, creo que no son tan buenos para nosotros, pues. Bueno, muchas gracias.
Hello, my name is Sarah Fitzgerald. I'm original from Peru. I migrated to Portland 20 years ago. I'm an immigrant. I did not have to go through the hardships that many do. I came here with a visa to be a student, and then I subsequently stayed. Many of the immigrants that are impacted by this laws are coming in from the border. And it's not like it's an easy trajectory. They come in and they have horrendous stories that we don't know, and they're really horrible. They cross countries by foot. They go through jungles. They see people die. And they finally make it here where they feel, finally, we can be safe. And no, we cannot be safe because now we have these laws that make it so you cannot be safe. We're going to make it harder for you to be able to work. We're going to make it harder for you to be able to understand the laws. So I ask the administration and I ask everybody else, we need to change this. We are in 2024. Innovation. There are ways to maybe change the path, change the policy, make things more accessible. We're trying to do our part. All organizations that are helping immigrants, we're trying to teach them what resources are available. Language is the first thing, then how to start your business, how to get healthcare. But if laws don't change to help us, then it makes it really very difficult for us. So I really hope that the administration and everybody in our community, not just, this community or that community, but all of us as the human race, we embrace the newcomers with compassion, with care. And my hope is that we can utilize the new people, the young people coming from high school, coming from colleges, use their ideas to help us change policy, because this doesn't help. It's just going to make it worse. And it's not just for immigrants, but for all of us, because we're in this together. This is it. Thank you so much.
We're going to conclude the press conference, and I'd like to closing remarks here. I know there's an understanding where we hear this in different corners of the country that we're a melting pot. We're not a melting pot. Because a melting pot, everything disintegrates, disappears. We are a beautiful mosaic of dreams and hopes and aspirations. These people stories that you hear and stories on the streets, these are real people, real lives, with real dreams and aspirations and hopes to have a better life, a life for themselves, a life for their families. And for decades and centuries, communities all across this country are making a profound impact in our democratic process, in our prosperity, in our innovation. Doctors, engineers, bus drivers, taxi drivers, policemen, policewomen, nurses. Unfortunately, our political rhetoric has been very divisive, and the dehumanizing process and the dehumanizing rhetoric has harmed our communities that are so vulnerable and defenseless. And I urge our constituents, our fellow Americans, our brothers and sisters from all backgrounds in Portland and beyond, in Maine and New England, let's embrace these people that have flee persecution and violence and atrocities. Let's welcome them to our homes, to our communities. Let's support them. And I urge our members of our communities who are voters to seek out, to make phone calls, to pay a visit to your elected officials and hold them accountable. Hold your president accountable, regardless, irrespective of the political party affiliation. If we are going to be a nation of human rights, if we're really going to be a nation to uphold the principles and laws that are enshrined in our Constitution, we got to do better than this. We don't turn away people at the border or arrest them and deport them who are literally running away from gangs and rape and persecution and violence and killings. What kind of a message are we sending out to the world? So let's protect this mosaic. Let's embrace it. Thank you. We're open for Q&A after this. So Grace is our communication director. She'll be happy to coordinate whoever we want to interview. The gentleman spoke in Spanish. If he's comfortable, we have somebody translate as well. Grace, you can go ahead and take over from here and then just basically see whoever wants to interview.
If anyone like me to set up an interview, we'd also love to give you a tour of our
Yes,
space.
she will give you a tour of the space. I got a first floor, literally Friday, officially got to sign the lease. So she'll be happy to give you a tour. And this is an organization that you can talk about more about what we do here as well.
I just have one question. So according to the website, the IWC's website, the mission of your organization is to act as a hub of collaboration that strengthens the immigrant community through language acquisition, economic integration, and civic engagement. Can you tell me how Biden's executive order, if passed, will have an impact on your mission?
So I have one correction to make. The executive order is not passed, it's already in effect since Wednesday midnight.
Okay.
They're already arresting people and they're already deporting people. So go ahead, you can answer if you like.
No, please go ahead.
So it's effective because the communities we're serving are coming from very different countries. They're also asylees, they're also refugees. They're also people who have escaped violence from Africa and from Central South America as well. As you can see, we have a very diverse group of people here. So we are here to support them and, as we said, provide education. There are other organizations helping them with healthcare, with education, with training, with learning English, digital literacy, how to use computers, how to apply for jobs, how to build your resumes. We also have a healthcare component as well. But we're also an organization that supports advocacy, as well. So this policy is affecting the communities that we work with and serve, not only ourselves, but other affiliates and coalitions of partners and stakeholders in Portland and beyond. So when the policy comes into place, which is an executive order, this is not a congressional approval, by the way, which is in effect on Wednesday at midnight, it directly affects the people that you're working with, the people that we're trying to help, trying to help them basically get on with their lives, have some normalcy, have some sense of peace and calmness. Think about these people are traumatized, escaping atrocities that they have left their homes. Nobody wants to leave home. Who wants to leave their home? Nobody wants to leave their home. You only leave your home because it's unsafe to be at your home. And what are we doing? We are arresting them. We are deporting them back to the same place where they came from. You're welcome. Any more questions? you like to say anything? Anything? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you coming here, short notice, and Grace will be happy to give you a tour. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Muchas gracias.